Heavenly Father, thank you for the break from the cold weather, and as we look forward to the temperatures this week, and just enjoy the outdoors maybe a little more, and Lord, just be thankful for all things in your creation. Lord, as we take up the business this morning, we have a budget before us, and we just ask that you put your hand on that budget for us, so that um, the outcome would be that, to the best of our ability, it will serve our county well. Lord, we just ask that the revenues come in, and that would enable us to do just that. So as we take up that business this morning, and other items that might come before us, we just want to give you all the glory, and may everything we do here this morning honor you. In your son's name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. First item is approval of minutes. If you've had a chance to look at those, I would entertain a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve the minutes as written.
I'll second it.
Okay, I have a motion second to approve the minutes as presented. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, same aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Minutes approved. Next item would be the ballot question that we will have on the April ballot, should that pass here this morning. So today is the deadline for certification. We've had multiple discussions regarding that. And at this time, I would ask Linda to present the ordinance and that has the ballot language in that as well.
Down here is the two different
Okay.
banners.
Okay. So that for our final review, and what I asked Linda to do was give us two. The ordinance is identical except for the ballot language, and I'd ask you to review that. One simply says, "Shall the county of Laclede impose a local use tax at the same rate as the local sales tax rate, currently 1.1875%, provided that if the local sales tax rate is reduced or raised by voter approval, the local use tax rate shall also be reduced or raised by the same." So it simply is asking the voters to consider that with that language. But we also had discussions regarding would we want to include something in the ballot language that would specify some of the uses of the funds. And that was in order to provide additional funding for law enforcement personnel, patrol cars, and equipment, additional funding for county road maintenance and equipment, and addressing other general fund needs of the county, shall the county of Laclede impose a local use tax at the same rate with that same language. So for commission's consideration, I just wanted to put both of those out there. There are different ways to look at that. Some would be that by keeping the language as simple as possible, then perhaps that would lead somebody down to check that box, yes or no. Or is it better to provide a little more information so that they have perhaps a better understanding where the funds are going to? So I'm just putting that out there. And to me, either one would work, because I think the success of this will be determined by the information that's provided to the voters, and not necessarily the ballot language. So I would ask you to consider either one, and then I would entertain a motion to approve. and conversations to their discussion.
You bet. I think that it actually is important to have some type of allocations and stuff out there because people want to know what it's going for.
Okay.
In my personal opinion, and,
Okay.
and I believe you're right. If we can do the right informational part with it, and do our part, let them know that it's not an extra tax or anything like that on this use tax, that it's something that we're not getting when we should be able to bring it in. So I'm for the one that explains for allocations.
May I see that one?
Yes, sir.
I like this one.
Okay. All right. So before I take ask for the motion, I would just like to say that in 2025, 21% of purchases, retail purchases, will be made online. And that number has consistently risen over the past 4 or 5 years. And so with that amount or that percentage that we know is being purchased online, we don't know how much of that is here in Laclede County, but we know that in the United States that 21% of purchases are made online. So we're losing by those dollars not staying local, and they're not coming back. That's a pretty significant amount of money. And while it's hard to project or predict an amount of funds that we possibly could benefit from, that really the citizens in the county could benefit from through the law enforcement, through maintenance on county roads and the other needs here at the county. We know what our sales tax collections are, and we know we've reduced our revenue estimate this year because we're concerned about how those revenues will come in. But if we take in approximately $2.7 million on a half-cent sales tax, think about what that 21% represents. And I'm hesitant to throw out any number that this might return back to Laclede County, but I just want people to think about revenues stagnating, more purchases are made online, evidenced by the statistics that we know. That's a considerable sum of money that would likely come back and go to work for Laclede County as opposed to never coming back. And so I appreciate the commission putting this on the ballot. I know it's always a question whether you want to ask voters to approve a sales tax or a use tax. In this case, it's a use tax. But if they shop local, we would be collecting that tax. And on a dollar purchase, that's a little over a penny. On $100, that's about $1.19. And so if we can bring that back, those pennies will add up and it will help us to be able to continue to fund general county services that I think our residents appreciate. So with that commentary, I would entertain a motion to placing the use tax on the April ballot.
I'll make a motion to place the use tax on the April ballot.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Do I have any further discussion? Okay. I have a.
This is one.
Yeah. I have a
One
motion.
other little thing that
Yeah.
I like is it gives our local people just a small competitive advantage. If that goes through. Our local businesses.
Well, at the very least, it levels the
Yes.
playing field.
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It brings it back in more ways than one.
So Jack, there would be a copy available for you. I would, since we've read it, you haven't. If you want me to read it, I will. But if not, I'll make a copy available to you, and not subject you to me reading 2.5 pages. Are you okay with that? If there was public here, I would either pass it out or read it aloud.
And I can provide some extras.
You're okay on that? Okay. All right. Then I have a motion and a second. We've had discussion. Now I'll ask for a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Same sign. Motion approved.
Initial.
Initial off the top.
Oh,
Here, no, doesn't it need to be signed?
Oh, is there three? Yeah, there's
Yeah,
three that have.
I think so.
I was gonna say, I thought there was some
Yeah.
signatures that,
Yeah. It's
Dr.
see,
Lindsey?
you tried to blame it on me.
I did.
I think he just counts 1, 2.
How do you make it the
Evil.
same every time?
It's,
Oh, okay.
yeah, if I do it too many times.
My
in a row-
signature's not the same every time, let alone the scratches.
Yeah.
You know, he likes to scratch that thing, right? That way he always brings up this one scratching little scratch.
All right, so with that, we'll move on to the next budget or the next item, and that's our approval of the 2025 county budget. So we have to formally adopt the budget, and so I'm going to ask the question that the only question I have would be nothing's changed since we have signed initial doc on it 10 days ago.
There was a clerical correction.
There was a clerical, okay.
But we also found out then in going back over and reviewing it, so to just be transparent, going back over and reviewing it, it actually was right. We just had to get back into the details of it all and remember why it was the way it was.
Okay.
So it was right. What we corrected was, what we thought we were changing was put back originally the way it was, because it was correct the first time. So in that, there has been no budgetary changes since you have approved it.
Okay. Do you have any questions for Linda?
There's been some line cleanup, things like that, but no budget.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, the cleanup for the transfer of deal for like the assessor part of it. For us to pay that IT part of that.
That didn't change any budget.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. That was a process given,
Mm-hmm.
but it didn't actually change enough.
And that's what I needed, just for
Yes.
point of clarification on
Yes.
how that
Yeah.
leveled out in there. So, other than that, I think we've done our due diligence on that, and with, like he said, with the amount of the way the revenue is, I think we've done pretty well.
Okay, at this time then, Linda's going to present the budget and we'll initial these, so,
There are more copies in there on the counter, but I just brought these as
okay, I'm gonna
originals.
give each of you a copy, and then I'm going to ask for a motion to approve the budget, and then we'll each sign, all of us will sign these 3 and give them back to Linda, and then there will probably be some others, and as we have time this morning, we'll go up and sign. So at this time, I would entertain a motion to approve the 2025 budget as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2025 budget as presented.
I'll second it.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve the 2025 budget. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. 2025 budget approved. I'll just pass those down and
Rotate.
yep. And that'll be in the books. On the books.
Already working.
copies.
And we will have that out online just as soon as we're out of here and can scan it.
All right, sounds good.
And if you want a hard copy, you can have that too.
Okay.
There's some in there, they're not signed yet, but there's some identical to this in there.
Gotcha, I might grab one on my way out.
That's fine, totally good.
Okay,
Just let them know you don't mind if it's not signed, if you're gonna grab it that way.
Okay.
at this time, I would entertain items for general county business.
Don't really have anything other than the disgruntled taxpayer this morning hung up on me already, so
Well,
over his road not fixed yet.
so I would bring up the senior tax freeze. That will roll out Monday. Applications will be, we'll start to receive those on Monday. And I want to stress how important it is for the seniors in Laclede County to renew this year, and if they haven't ever filed the application, how important it is. This is a reassessment year, and there will be notices that will be going out to numerous property owners that will reflect up to a 15% increase, of which the assessor will be notifying them. They'll be receiving letters, so they'll certainly know that they can anticipate a higher tax liability unless political subdivisions would roll back their levies. And I want to stress that as well, because that's an important part of this. When you have reassessments that increase by this percentage, it's going to generate significant new monies for the political subdivisions. The idea would be, ideally the way it was designed to work and should work, is that in those reassessment years, like we'll experience this year, that the political subdivisions roll back their levies. So the burden is, that additional burden is not left there on the property owner. So I want to stress that, particularly for the seniors that applied last year when this was first made available. And perhaps last year when they received their tax bill and they looked at their senior tax credit, and I know I looked at mine and I've looked at others, and I know that the range was anywhere from less than $1 to $10 or $15. But I know this year that if you don't reapply, and you get that 15% notice, your base is going to be reset. So I can't stress enough, so I'm gonna say it 3 or 4 more times probably, that if you applied last year, please apply this year unless you want your base reset, if you're one of those that will receive that reassessment notice. I just can't stress that enough. So I'm just going to encourage everyone to make that known through your relationships with seniors. I think we need to know that Laclede County Record will probably put something out on this. We know that through individual conversations, perhaps we'll do a mailer, send out a postcard reminder, kind of like what we did last year. But it is just so important not to lose what you started with last year. So with that, this was the application that we looked at last year. We've tried to simplify it for those who come in and apply. One of the things we added that we didn't have on there last week was up here at the top, whether it's a renewal or new application, and that's going to help speed up the process. And then through staffing here, they're already working on the list of individuals that applied and were approved last year. They're already looking to see if their 2024 taxes have been paid. and they're going to work on populating the parcel number, all in an effort to make this even more efficient than what we were able to do last year. And I've spoken with the assessor's office. They review the applications, but by doing a lot of this preliminary work that's being done, it should reduce the burden over there and just make it again more efficient for those who come in and apply or reapply. So that was the only change to the application from what we looked at last week.
You bet.
Okay.
Yeah, I noticed that on there. And what I've talked to on some of the office holders that help with that, and with, of course, the ladies here that's been doing their work, that I think it's going to be very helpful to our citizens that come in to do this, because it will, as you said before, streamline that so much more for them. It won't take up as much of their time and be such a hindrance.
Yeah. So with the new application, then if it's a renewal, the only thing we'll need to verify at what I call the point of sale when the applicant comes in will be their identification. Because with this, we'll no longer require them, unless it's a new one. If it's a renewal, we'll no longer require them to get a copy of their warranty deed. And if we pre-populate, which I think we already have, the taxes that didn't paid, then we don't have to send them down to the collector's office to get a copy of their taxes. And this is just going to help push things through. So I give a lot of credit to our two co-workers here. I want to get something else just as while we're on that.
Yeah, I like that, having on there for that renewal and everything.
And this is just in-house for us. So here for TV.
Yeah, for purposes.
Hey, Jack, I have your name on there when you want to volunteer.
You want to come work?
So we really can't put out there, like the schedule from Monday through May 30th. But
Right.
what we thought we'd do is try this. Linda has offered the help of one of her staff. And so I thought if we just put on here maybe a week at a time, days that you can work, then that will help everybody to be able to cover the desk out there.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to point that out. We'll probably keep it here in this room, and if something happens and they can't be here, then we'll erase their name and somebody will
Scratch and
will
start over.
scratch it in. But that's kind of the best way we could come up with.
You bet. I like
And,
that.
and there may even be something we can modify on that, but we'll start with Monday. And
There's not much on there to modify.
no,
That's pretty simple,
Add,
straightforward.
Maybe
Yeah.
Somebody want to put hours on it, but I thought if it's Monday, if Mike, if she can work, like 9 to 11 or something like that, and then
Mhm.
if they go to lunch and
Right.
we get Hannah in there, and I can work the afternoon and just try and or be here. And I know
Right.
Bill, on Tuesdays you said you tend to want to be here all day Tuesday, so if that's a day.
If I can, do that, and then I'll try to figure out, the rest of mine will probably be as can,
Okay.
maybe where I come in and you may be working, on Friday afternoon, and I may come in and I say, hey, Randy, I'm good if you want to go do something.
Go home and play in my garden.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, get ready.
Okay.
So if that works, that's about all I can do for right now with the way that everything else is working for me.
Sure, that's understandable. That's what we thought we'd launch just
Yeah.
to try to make it.
Yep.
Elections will be coming up, so we'll have 2 on that list be working elections, and we still have mail to get posted and bills to pay,
Yeah, and it may work where a few afternoons I can, call in and say, hey, I'm gonna be done at such and such time, even if it's for a couple hours. That might help relieve.
Yeah.
Somebody.
For renewals,
Uh-huh.
would I be able to have these at my place?
As far as an application.
Sure, sure,
Yeah.
sure. Now, what I would stress with that though is that, you will be verifying
It
ID.
would have to be me,
You would have to verify the
Yeah.
ID.
Not
Yeah.
Wayland. It'd be-
correct.
And then, also, I would stress the fact that since we have, lines for 2 applicants, that if it's Randy stopping in there and buying some gas and he sees it on the counter and he fills it out, remind them that, is your spouse 62 years or older? And if so, when can they stop in and
Verification.
you verify it?
Can they take it home and bring it back?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Well-
and that's,
but he has to see the ID.
they'll have to bring it back with IDs.
So,
Nothing's saying they can't take it home or,
And fill it out.
or I can take and hand them out. I can
I'm
drive
thinking
down.
renewals only though.
sure,
Oh, yeah, new applicants
Yeah.
needs to come here, because they gotta get their deed, that stuff, that
new
that whole
applicants
process.
can submit that online though as well.
That's right, that is right.
Yeah, if they submit all the documentation, so,
So I could have these to hand out to new applicants as
Yep.
well.
sure.
Yeah, so
And then they go online or
they
come
still
in,
have to get their qualified things.
Right.
which is what I was gonna do. I've got several of people that have already asked me for them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give them the applications and I'm gonna let them come here. Here's your applications, take your time.
I
Go to the
better have
courthouse.
some, cause I think it'll,
Yes, I think it'll be beneficial for the county and for the people. You bet.
Be clear is all I'm
Yeah.
going to add, because in relationship to voter registration drives when they go out, I gave it to, how come it didn't get here?
right.
That's where I'm at. That's why I'm saying,
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, it's gonna put some
Here you go.
responsibility on me.
yes,
No, and I get
here
that.
you go, take it to the courthouse when you get it done. Because I don't actually have somebody there all day to drop it off to.
If I do that, I don't need to take a copy of the driver's license, or would you suggest that I,
You verified it.
okay,
Why do you need that other information in your hands?
okay,
That's the way I see it.
We're not doing it up here.
okay.
You're seeing it.
Let me see that application.
Yes, sir.
I would probably recommend that you put the date of birth and then on the front here,
Think
date
so.
of birth, just as you verify, make sure that,
Name, date of birth.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
It's gotta be filled out correctly, yeah.
If it's a renewal, they don't necessarily have to redo all the address stuff, do they? On here?
No, we would,
Yeah,
Okay,
And they need to check the boxes because
Right.
they're affirming that those are true.
I think fill it
A lot
out
of
to
them
its
probably
entirety.
aren't gonna have their parcel number.
Well, if it's renewal,
You don't need that.
they won't
Okay.
need that.
Yeah, as far as I'd still have them fill out other than that type of stuff for the renewal
Just have them do it all.
documentation. Yep,
Yeah.
to its entirety.
Except for the parcel number, because they're probably not gonna know that.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yep.
Okay, so that rolls out Monday.
Okay, we've adopted that application. Correct.
Mhm.
Don't need any
so I can
Thing on
pick
that.
some up
Good.
Tuesday and take them back with me?
You can take some today.
today.
Okay.
Just have, just ask Lynn or Mike to print off how many ever you think you want,
Okay,
and, just, start handing
Well,
them out.
even new people, I mean, they can take this and get most of their homework done.
Sure.
So when they come in here,
Or go
they won't be
online.
having to stand around doing that. insurance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's already filled out. That's why doctor's offices have you send you a clipboard.
Yeah.
Just make sure you have your insurance card.
Yes, even
That's-
though you might have
I
showed it
normally-
the day before.
When they hand me the clipboard, I throw the insurance card at them. You know,
Okay, so we're still in general county business. Is there any? And we will not adjourn today. We have at 1:45 is the day we're supposed to go to MU Extension. Is that right?
that
I
is
may
correct.
not. I may go over there after this meeting just
Okay.
to see if they.
If anybody's there,
Okay,
I know they do classes and stuff.
all right.
But yes, I plan on going about 1:45. That is correct.
And I may still yet be able to at 1:45. I just don't know yet.
And then we have, we got invited to what, the chamber, 4:00?
They had mentioned that.
That I
haven't-
will not be able to attend.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'll be able to either.
Where was that?
I-
That at their office or where was
It
that?
would
No, was at
probably
the
be-
Civic Center, I think.
Which is where
Oh,
yeah.
I believe their office is now, correct?
Yeah.
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 Okay. Well, I'm probably gonna try to attempt to make it to that as well.
Okay, Lindy, you have some stuff for us?
These are the court orders that follow the budget. The first one is to transfer from all appropriate funds to the health insurance fund for an annual amount not to exceed $1,229,079.
We need these individually,
I'm gonna put them all together.
all together, so we can take one vote on
Yeah,
it.
one vote.
Okay.
And I'll just let you guys read them. These are just budgetary numbers.
Read them and then send them back, and then we'll take a vote at the end. Was it I thought it was a greater amount than 100,000.
Yeah. Yes.
That actually comes up to 1 million then? Is that
That's
right?
what- Yeah, that's
Hmm.
in our budget, yes.
Okay, for 1 million, so 100.
Should look them over.
Okay, once I get those back down here, then I would entertain a vote to approve those.
clarification there.
Okay, I just,
Yeah.
that's what I remember, but,
I'll make a motion to approve the certified copy of orders that I have in my hand here.
I would second the court orders on the certified copies.
okay. I have a motion and a second to approve the, court orders as presented. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye, all opposed, same sign, approved.
And if you would initial those top corners.
Top corners?
Yeah.
Share that one, Porter.
Is that it? All right. Anything else?
John Beard reporting back that, as I discussed with him this morning,
There's 3 applications you can take.
about the road that I talked to you about there, where they got hung up on this morning. It's all washboarded from the end of Julie to the asphalt there is washboarded out. So. The only other thing I've got for now.
Okay, we will be at recess, and anything comes up, let me know. Next Tuesday, the representative from Caterpillar Ryan will be here. I don't know if he'll have the sales agreements ready to present for the next 2 graders or not, but so far that's what I have on the agenda.
Okay.
So anything comes up, if you need something on the agenda, let me know.
You bet.
We have discussed taking a road trip on the roads. We still in for that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. So I would probably recommend we do that as your times permit, sooner than later, because if you're considering evaluating projects for the first quarter on that or beyond, it probably wouldn't be too early to start on that. I know I have some things I want to observe on the blade patching primarily, and I have a couple other spots that I'd like to visit with both of you about.
You bet.
And then you may have your own, but I think it'd be very helpful to just see if there's anything in that budget that we want to revisit before the projects. So gives Mike time to plan those according to the commission.
I've got a small list started
Okay,
and everything. It's just right now with, like I said, having one of my other employees and stuff out on medical leave and stuff like that, it's made it really rough,
Okay.
especially since my other full-time guy can't handle. So
Uh-oh.
he is no longer my full-time guy either.
Uh-oh.
So,
Uh-oh. You're gonna be busy,
yes.
busier, how's
Yes,
that?
busier.
So
So
just keep that in mind though,
Yeah.
because.
I've had it marked on my calendar 2 different
Okay.
times, planning for road trip. I mean, Eric's even seen it, that it, and I just.
Okay.
Not allowing unless we want to do it in the dark and you can't see everything that way.
Probably wouldn't help us a lot.
No, it's like feeding black cows. It's hard to see them in the dark. You bet. So, yeah, no, still on the process, or thought process, just timing.
Okay.
Just timing.
Okay.
So we'll get there.
Very good.
Recess for now?
We are standing at recess.